Wedding cancelled because of Mom, and now she wants me to wear my dress for party she is throwing us. I cancelled my dream wedding and did a small COVID one instead, as during Christmas I was bombarded by my mom and her family saying they would not attend my wedding if I invited my bio dad. Also, I have a stepdad, which is the only one on that side who actually seemed to understand where I was coming from. It's ridiculous. After more than 10 years and being remarried, my mom refused to agree to any new terms for their divorce. So every time something in life changes, they have to go to court. He got fired from a job. He wanted to settle on the debt from over the unemployed period. He wants to update the child support, as the youngest is no longer in high school, etc. And she blames him for taking her to court, even though she is the one that refuses to be civil and agree to anything. So long story short, the COVID wedding was in the spring and did not have any family from my side attend. We had us, the efficient, and to whiteness. Since then we have moved to be closer to all our family, and my husband's side threw us a little celebration, kinda like a reception party. It was beautiful, and I'm so happy they thought of us and did that for us. Only my husband's direct family knew about it and attended, though. And FYI, I did not wear my gown to this party either. My mom has been saying since we moved she wanted to do something like that for us too. She wanted to plan it for in like 5 days after she told me, and got all upset when I told her I couldn't do it that weekend because I was already busy. I have tickets to a non-refundable show, and she just got upset because it's hard to line up the family. But wouldn't you talk to the guests of Hunter to make sure they are free first? And then she calls me saying she really wants my husband and I to wear our wedding attire. This way we can pretend we were there too. But I can't give her the satisfaction of ruining my wedding day and getting pictures with me for it. I will go to the party. Let them celebrate, but I will not be wearing my dress. I told her I would think about it. But honestly, I am baffled at how she thinks this is okay. She ruined my day and no wants to feel good by having pictures together. I will not give her that satisfaction. And I DC if our future kids ask why no family is in our wedding photos, I plan to be honest with them. They were not invited due to the drama they were causing, even though we told everyone that the wedding was canceled due to COVID. Edit, everyone telling me it's my fault I let her ruin the day. She was going to pay a large portion of the venue and backed out when she didn't get her way. Also would have enough people coming after that for the venue, and I could not find a cheap place anywhere for the wedding on the short notice. I had my wedding without her. It was not my dream, that is what she ruined.
Paid for them so you can pay for us. Took the day off from work yesterday because my nephew's school was closed for the day and I wanted to spend time with him. My brother and nephew live with me. Here is a quick dirty map of our neighborhood. My nephew is a small kid and he calls both my wife and my mom while calling my brother dad. This has led to him getting teased a bit, especially by Yem's son Jared, pronounced Jared, like the subway guy. Jared is easily 30 pounds heavier than my nephew and a solid 6 inches taller, so my nephew is terrified of the kid. As a result, we don't invite the kid to parties, play days. Every other kid on the block is invited, but I refuse to force my nephew to interact with someone he's so afraid of. When the ice cream truck pulls up to our neighborhood, it stops at the very beginning of the V shape on the map. Kids, parents, and anyone else who wants an ice cream go and meet the truck there, so it doesn't have to stop at each of the 6 houses individually. Yesterday, my nephew was playing in the yard with his friend Kevin, while I and Kevin's dad Joe were trying to keep up with them while enjoying a pitcher of slow gin fizz. All in all, a beautiful day in Middle America. And now the story begins. We hear the unmistakable sound of the ice cream man pulling up or are heading towards our neighborhood. So both the kids, Joe, his wife, my brother, and I all head up to the intersection to grab some soft serve. We get to the truck, and I let Joe know that this one is on me. He brought the drinks. So we all get our ice cream and pay, and then we start to walk away. Before we get more than 20 feet from the truck, Em has placed an order for her and Jared, and proclaimed in her best outside voice that Mary, not my real name, will be paying for these. I take a few steps back. Excuse me, I never offered to pay for you. You said this one was on you. I was talking to Joe, not you. That's not fair. Jared was so excited for ice cream, and now you're saying he can't have any. He's free to have all the ice cream you're willing to pay for. Not buying my son's bully ice cream. How dare you? To the ice cream guy, sorry for the mix-up, but she's not on my tab. I want to be clear about that. Come on, Jared. We're going home with no ice cream because Mary hates you. I switched to martinis when I got home because fuck that. But did she even come to the truck if she didn't have money on her? Starting to understand why her son is such a shitty kid. It's not his fault. He's being trained to be that way.
Stole my car to repay herself for all the expenses of raising me. Hi all. I saw a story on here that reminded me of my experience and thought I'd share. Almost exactly a year ago, my mom kicked me out of the house, yes, during COVID. Came home and the locks were changed. I was 18 and the last month my dad paying child support had just passed. I had no warning. I still had my car, so I drove it to a friend's house whose parents agreed to help me out temporarily. My mom and my aunt followed me, and when I got out, my mom used the spare key, got in, and drove it away. The car was under her name because I bought it when I was 17. I was paying for it, and I only had one payment left. She was going to transfer it over to me when I finished with the last payment. I know a lot of you are jumping with suggestions, but I talked to police at the time. There really wasn't anything I could do. A few days later, she drops off a check for the amount of the car, or rather, what I'm owed. It was $1,800 for a car worth $25,000. On the side of the check, she showed her work subtracting out the gas, groceries, and heat that I owed her. I'm sure have lots more stories, but as far as entitlement goes, she's on that crazy train. I'm doing fine now, BTW. I'm going to nursing school. Edit to answer some questions. 1. I did not have a $25K loan. I should have been more clear. I had been saving for a long while, and with help from my grandfather, I only had $5,000 left after the down payment. It wasn't through a bank. My mom covered the rest, and I was paying her back as fast as I could. My grandfather has since passed away, and I miss him dearly. 2. My dad helped me out a bit in the beginning, but he's not someone I can rely on. He has straight up told me he doesn't care and doesn't want me to come crying to him for money. His philosophy is that paying child support fulfilled his parental duties. 3. I love all the comments of support, but I don't have the time, energy, or money to sue my mom. I'd rather just forget she exists as soon as possible. Also, I'm working 14-hour days with school and work, so I'm always exhausted. Lol. Thanks to everyone who's shared their personal stories. I appreciate it. We are all in it together. It's been a year. I'm in no distress. Things are looking up. Edit 2. Cause I forgot to mention something that might make the story a bit more fun. When she wasn't looking, I took my dog back. He and I are living very happily together. She never mentioned anything about it, but I'm assuming she must know it was me. The dog is registered under my name, Chip, and everything, so I'm not sure she could take him back if she wanted, but shrug.
Entitled Parents Angry I Won't Babysit 5 out of 7 days a week. Update. For starters, I want to apologize for the long wait. I know I was supposed to update last weekend, but there wasn't much I could have given you guys then. Okay, I want to address the main thing everyone has been asking me. Would you babysit if they paid you? The answer is no. That would be giving up both my education and my job, only to get paid a lot less than what I'm earning for part-time. Anyways, I did what you guys told me to, make myself as unavailable as possible. I studied more at Starbucks and got a new doorknob with a lock that isn't pickable. That's all worked a bit more in my favor too, so thank you. The SIL mostly still continue to bother me to babysit, but I've held my own and kept the same answer. I have talked to my friend. Yes, I trust her 10,000% to rent an apartment with me, and we might be able to move out by December. If not, then no later than February. but I do have a backup plan in case that doesn't work out. I talked to my mom and told her she should consider moving out. I sent her the link to my previous post and she will be seeing the comments of this one. She has admitted to talking to her sister about moving in with her since she, my aunt, lost her husband back in January and doesn't like living alone. And if when my mom moves out, that'll force my dad to get a job and possibly even find a place of his own, because none of my mom's side of the family likes my dad, so he more than likely can't live in my aunt's house. Also want to add in here, my mom had a family discussion a few days ago. To sum it up, she told them to leave me alone about babysitting and they should start to plan to move out. Because she was selling the house, I don't know how true that is TBH. And quickly onto the subject of my dad. I wouldn't classify it as hate, but a lot of people have tried to put me in my place by telling me I live in his house. I'm spending his money, I eat his food, and that's all wrong. Lol. He doesn't provide anything. No, he isn't injured. No, it's not depression. There's nothing else to it. He learned that my mom's income alone can cover all of the finances, so he quit his job and hasn't looked back since. Again, I have my own job and my mom and I have been the ones doing everything around this house since I was 13. And if some of y'all are truly that bothered I wasn't kicked out at 18, I seriously don't know what to tell you. So I think that's everything. Ask any questions to me or my mom. I'll reply to them. I don't think I can post further updates in this sub, but I'll continue to post updates on my account if anyone's interested. Wait, there is one thing I forgot to add. Since my mom's family discussion, my brother has been more passive-aggressive towards me, and he and SIL are blaming me, saying I'm going to be the reason they're homeless soon. So there's that.
Check out my other splendid videos.